What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. Hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope you guys have all had a great Saturday. Hope you guys are ready for another live 2023 fantasy football mock draft with you guys, of course, with the Catch fam. Super excited to hop into another mock with you guys tonight. Thank you so much to those of you who joined the mock with me tonight. Thank you to everyone who decides to stop by the channel tonight as well. Make sure to hit that like button on the way in. Hit that subscribe button, of course, if you guys are new to the channel. But most importantly, hop in the live chat. Let me know what's popping. Let me know how you guys are doing. Any fantasy football topics, dynasty, redraft, basketball, any NFL topics, whatever it may be, throw it in the live chat. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to talk some fantasy football. So I'm a couple minutes early, so I'll give this another minute or so. And I assume most of you guys are here, but we'll kind of just get things rolling. We'll just kick off at 11 p.m. Eastern time because that was the original time. So 5 minutes and mock draft will be underway, okay? Unless all you guys are here, I don't know, give me some thumbs up in the chat. If you guys want to go ahead and start, I'm good with that too. I think most of you guys are here, but... All right, a couple things we need to talk about, right? I did not stream yesterday, so we got the news that Jameson Williams, wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, obviously suspended for violations of the NFL's gambling policy. So he was not betting on NFL games, but he was making active bets in an NFL facility. In his contract that he can't do that. Obviously, there were a couple other players, 4 other players who were also suspended. But in terms of fantasy football relevancy, J-Mo is the guy, right? This is a player that a lot of dynasty managers were going after. If you've already done your startup draft for the year, then likelihood that you might have Jameson Williams on your team. There's obviously plenty of dynasty owners who already owned Jameson Williams as well. So on top of that, we've got the speculation of Amon-Ra St. Brown's shares being a little bit higher, being that Jameson Williams is going to miss 6 games. So more targets in theory for Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I'm kind of the belief that if Jameson Williams is on the field and can help open up the offense a little bit, help take a little bit of defensive pressure away, especially over the top, that actually helps Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I think these 6 games that Jameson Williams is going to miss is, it's a hit. It really is. It's not the end of the world by any means, whether you own Amon-Ra St. Brown or if you're just looking for the Lions to take a step forward. The world's not over, but I do think it affects the beginning of the season. So we'll see. When I'm drafting with you guys, right, Amon-Ra St. Brown's already going pretty high. I have a lot of personal conviction in Amon-Ra going into next season. A lot of you guys do as well. So, but there is a lot of talk that, especially like in a redraft format, that Amon-Ra is going to creep up a little bit because his target share should be higher, at least for this first 6 games. So all in all, if you're a Jameson Williams owner in Dynasty, it kind of sucks, but like it's not the end of the world, right? He's only missing 6 games. I know that's still a pretty chunk out of the season, but it's not the end of the world. It's just kind of like a random off-season slap to the face, right? Then in terms of redraft, yeah, Jameson Williams probably not going to be a player that you're going to see drafted. I mean, maybe if you just have like a perfect build and you see Jameson there, maybe in a keeper league, right? Like you pick him up and you let him ride the bench. I mean, it depends on your league. Does your league allow suspended players to go on IR or not? I mean, a lot of leagues don't. Some leagues do. And redraft, I don't think he's going to be sought after. And like I said, I mean, we've already seen throughout the offseason Amon-Ra being a player that is going at a pretty high value, sometimes before players like A.J. Brown and CeeDee Lamb even. So for me personally, I don't think Amon-Ra's ADP really changes a lot in terms of how I viewed him or how I've seen him throughout the offseason. So a lot to break down there. Let me know your guys' thoughts about the Jameson Williams situation. Outside of that, we have got some one interesting rumor to go over here on the 22nd of the month. Things are getting juicy. The draft's just about to be here. And we got rumors, alleged, I mean, literally, like, we have had a source come out and say Derrick Henry is going to the Eagles. I don't know, guys. I mean, it's kind of fun. Like, it's Saturday now. We have something to talk about. But, like, at the end of the day, do I really think Derrick Henry's going to the Eagles? I mean, I guess I could see it. But I just think it makes so much more sense for the Eagles to go out and draft a running back. So, for me, I just think, I don't know. I think there's going to be, over the next week, a lot of smoke and mirrors. A lot of smoke screen. A lot of teams trying to position themselves best shape possible going into this draft. There's a lot of talent in this draft. I don't know. Will I be like shocked? By the way, guys, we are kicking off the draft. So 11 p.m. Eastern time, draft is underway. Would I be like 100% shocked if Henry goes the Eagles? No, they like to run the football a lot, and Derrick Henry is very good at running the football. But I don't personally see it happening. I don't know. I just think like they're in a position to draft a player like Bijan Robinson, for example. I don't know. I don't know. All right, hold on. Let me make this draft pick very quickly here. I just still am not passing up Austin Eckler here. I don't care for the Austin Eckler hate. Like, I mean, you've got Kupp there. You've got Kelsey there. Who else is really equivalent to the value of Eckler? I just don't care where Eckler is. If he's on the Chargers, if he's not, I'm good with Eckler. So I'll take him even if it's against his ADP to a degree. But yeah, let me know in the chat, guys. Feelings about the Jameson Williams situation and feelings about the supposed Derrick Henry trade rumors to the Eagles. Like I said, so many good running backs in this draft, and in a position to get the best running back in the draft at the moment. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to spend that first round capital on Bijan Robinson, and maybe they just want to go out and get Henry. I don't know. Maybe they want to go offensive line, defense in the first round. Who knows? I just think it's smoke and mirrors at this point. You know, it smells a little fishy to me. But we'll see. We'll see. And like, even if the Eagles don't want to draft Bijan in the first round, it's like there are plenty of good running backs in this draft they can go after. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Let's see who's in the live chat. Pray, what's going on, man? How are you? Marco, what's up, my guy? Hello. Thomas, what's going on, man? How we doing? Taylor's in the house. How's it going, everybody? How we doing, guys? Taylor says, Henry to the Eagles makes zero sense to me. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't think it makes zero sense to me. Like, I can still see, like, some logic because, like, it's Derrick Henry. Like I said, Nick Sirianni likes to run the football, right? I think it makes some sense, but from the perspective that, like, they could go out and get a rookie running back, probably the best running back we've seen come out of college since, like, Saquon Barkley. You know, like, they're in a prime position to just lock up a running back on a rookie contract, and who's, you know, has taken an extremely lesser amount of touches in the NFL. And, well, obviously in the NFL, but just in general. It doesn't make a ton of sense. But at the same time, it's still Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had a great season last year. All said and done, you know. Even the year before when he got hurt, he was still was on incredible pace. So, you know, I don't know. I do want to know who is going to be playing running back for the Eagles this year because, you know, I love my boy Kenneth Gainwell. So, Thomas says 6 games is ridiculous. You know, at the end of the day, like, I personally, I don't think NFL players should be able to bet on NFL games in any way because it could obviously skew the outcome. Not that, you know, the refs don't probably skew the outcome as is, or the league for that matter. But and obviously, you know, J-Mo wasn't betting on NFL games, but he signed a contract for a fair amount of money, and in the contract states that he could not bet, through gambling websites, on other sports, and an NFL facility. So these NFL players, I'm not saying that, there are far worse things, obviously, that NFL players do, and they don't face as harsh suspensions. But at the end of the day, they're signing these contracts, they're getting paid a lot of money. They, are grown adults and should know the rules. So, if the rule is 6 games, then I don't think it's that ridiculous in my mind. All right, let's just go crazy at running back. Give me ETN here. Let's see. Chi-Town Bears, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you coming out tonight. What's up? Appreciate you joining the Discord as well. How you doing, man? Albert, what's up, man? J-Dubs, what's going on? Mitchell, what's going on, man? How's everyone doing tonight? Dynasty so hard to find, enough people to play. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of capped out. We have 2 leagues of 12 for the season, but I've contemplated doing a single quarterback league as well. So, but yeah, I mean, I get it. It's hard to find, and the thing is, you don't want just anybody joining your dynasty league. You want people who are going to be committed and everything. So, I feel that though it's not always easy for sure. But we've got a good community. We'll be opening up more dynasty leagues next year as well, if you're interested in the future. All right, so I went ETN at 2.9 there. I was kind of in the middle of talking, so I'm not going to lie. I wasn't 100% paying attention, but I think you guys would argue probably Walker and Hall. I mean, I still like ETN a lot, and I like him in that tier, but Walker and Hall probably deserve to go in front of ETN, right? I'm kind of tempted to go with another running back here. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's go Chubb. Let's just see how this team turns out. Let's go triple RB to start. Probably going to hate it. Albert says, I trust Akbar with that tweet he sent out. I guess. I just don't know, man. Coast to Coast, what's up, bro? How you doing? Where do we draft Henry if the news was true? That's a good question. He goes at 3.2 tonight on a team that has Jamar Chase and Kenneth Walker, but that's a good aspect that I didn't bring up, J-Dubs. Let me know in the chat, okay? If Bijan goes to the Eagles, what does that do for his fantasy value in your guys' mind? Obviously, great offensive line, great offense, an offense that can throw the football though, where the Titans weren't exactly good equivalent for a majority, of Henry's career, but Eagles are a team that, if you really go back and look, especially, I mean, this over the last 2 years, right? They're a team that likes to run the football. There's no doubt about that. So, just an overall good offense, still good for a running back because the more red zone trips you have, the more likely that your running back's going to score a touchdown, right? So, I would imagine most of you guys are going to say that Henry's draft capital is going to rise, I mean, he's been kind of all over the place. It just really depends on who you're drafting with. We've seen him go anywhere from beginning of the third, mid-third, all the way back to depending on who you're drafting with, end of the first at times, but probably closer to, I don't know, late second round on average. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like Henry was your RB4 last year in full PPR, and missed that one game against Dallas at the worst time possible, right? So 1,500 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns on the ground. His best receiving year of his entire career, 398 receiving yards off 33 receptions. So, you remove him from an offense that was completely relying on him, and outside of that was not good. And you put him on a team that just went to the Super Bowl. It's with a great offensive line, his fantasy value has to rise, probably back up to a first-round pick without a doubt, right? Cats, I'm pissed about J-Mo. It does kind of suck. I don't want to say I was pissed, but I was just a weird offseason, kind of slap to the face as we're moving into a lot of people, drafting dynasty startups very, very soon, if they haven't already. Taylor makes an interesting point here. I take him later than usual if you're in the Eagles. Hurts is going to rush for 10-plus touchdowns. So that's the other thing we have to consider, right, is like, you know, at the end of the day, how does Jalen Hurts' rushing upside hurt the outcome of Derrick Henry if he was on the Eagles? Would definitely make them a scary football team, J-Dubs. Imagine Henry behind that offensive line, says Albert. He bet on a college game, though, which is legal. He's just on the facility. Right, but he was on the facility, which is the part that's against his contract. So, you know, somewhere in his contract it says that he can't do that, is all I'm saying. Most former players didn't know about the rule. Also, a lot of coaches. Yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I just think, like, it is what it is, you know. These things have to be stated somewhere in the contract, and there has to be someone who, you know, at the end of the day, they just have to take responsibility for it. And, yeah, it sucks from a fan perspective and from a fantasy perspective, but at the end of the day, you know, like I said, getting paid a lot of money and fully grown men. So, all right, where do I want to go here? This is why I just never go this heavy at running back. All right, we're gonna have a weird wide receiver core tonight. Boxing the Jack, what's up, man? Hello. Pray, John's using my triple RB strat once again. I had not done this in a while. I don't know what really prompted me to take Nick Chubb there or Etienne before Walker or Hall, but here we are. Here we are, man. I was tempted to just, like, yeah, with Burrow on the board, like, I was thinking, like, maybe let's go quarterback here and then, like, tight end at 5.4 or another running back at 5.4. Just completely ignore the wide receiver position and see what happens. But here we are. Didn't want to go that hard. All right, Christian Kirk off the board there. Love the value at 5.3. Yeah, I mean, looking at the board, it's like kind of ugly. I'll just go Ayuk here. That's the other thing, right? Like, there's probably some mock drafts out there where you could go triple running back to start at this point in the offseason. It wouldn't hurt, like, entirely. But drafting with you guys, a very, very heavy wide receiver group. I mean, literally the first round is all wide receivers except for 4 selections, you know. So 8 players in the first round alone at the wide receiver position. Probably not the smartest idea. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Yeah, Taylor, 15 wide receivers off the board in the first 2 rounds. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have, like, yeah, it's getting pretty thin out there. So, Watson and Ayuk, I mean, at least they're young, bring some upside. So, I'll go with that. Yeah, I mean, obviously I wanted Christian Kirk there, but, I mean, I don't blame Taylor for taking him. I literally almost went Kirk at 4.9. But I felt like getting, like, maybe I need a little bit of upside. Maybe go with a player like Watson right there. So that's what I did. All right, so let me see here. So I mentioned in last night's off-air mock, for those of you guys who were around, that we do have spreadsheets coming for ADP. I wanted to kind of give you guys who are here tonight a little sneak peek, but these aren't completely finished. These are going to change, have some different additions. These will be available for dynasty mocks as well as redraft mocks. So overall, we'll have just a standing ADP. This is actually for dynasty mocks only, so you guys can kind of see just the regular ADP of where players are going on average, and then we'll also have a separate, well, really this is just an overall ADP of players in our dynasty mocks, right? Then this is just for the overall mock itself. So We'll have some cool spreadsheets coming for both our dynasty mocks and overall rankings, I guess I should say, as well as redraft mocks and redraft rankings as well. So I'm excited for this. It's going to be awesome. And shout out to Shane, who's helping put this all together. So this is going to be some just really good information for you guys, and just a really good resource for you guys to have throughout the off season as well, and probably be something that we kind of carry into the regular season as well. So should be fun, man. And like I said, this should be a good resource for you guys at the end of the day. So pray people used to be RB heavy. You know, I do think as the regular season gets closer and closer, and you know, the closer we get to the summertime, there's a likelihood that we do see some more running backs in the first round. Guys like Bijan, for example, maybe even Jacobs. I mean, I really say any of the running backs who went in the second round tonight could creep into the first easily. And I think even like Henry, who does go to the Eagles, Pollard, and even Chubb. Chubb probably won't get into the first. But I do think that there's, you know, like looking at Pollard, Hall, Walker, Etienne, Jacobs, Bijan, and Barkley, and even JT, who doesn't always go in the first. I could see any of those guys creeping into the first for sure. But I think there's obviously a lot of good wide receivers going as well. I'm never going 0 wide receiver again. Never. I mean, I had to take Mike Evans here, which like breaks my heart. I mean, shout out to Mike Evans. Like, that was kind of disrespectful, but yeah. Yeah, I'm not feeling great so far. But that's why we do these mock drafts, right? That's why you can try out different strategies, see how much you hate them. I mean, honestly, like, this team's not like awful. This team's not over by any means, but it is what it is. Tom is trying a different strat. Didn't take Kenneth Walker first. Also, usually don't go tight end early. This early, trying something different. Hey, man, like I said, that's why we mock. Try out some different strats, right? Oh, goodness. I'm going to have to load up at receiver. Sorry, guys. My phone is, like, going crazy tonight. I guess I could put on, like, silent mode or something. Probably be helpful. Should probably do that when I stream, right? All right. 3 running backs, 4 receivers in a row. I'm officially changing the name of the stream. Drafting a 0 wide receiver fantasy football team. Nobody will watch it now. All right, man. How you guys doing tonight? What's everyone up to, man? Outside of the Derrick Henry rumors, J-Mo drama, what do you guys got in your mind in terms of fantasy, in terms of NFL news? Anything exciting? We've got the draft. I mean, right around the corner. Let's see. Yeah, the 27th. 5 days away. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream during the draft, but I would actually really like to do so. So maybe I'll try and get that worked out. J-Dub says, too many best ball drafts. Yeah. Oh, is it bad that I almost have proper ADPs memorized? Yeah, and it's just interesting because that's based off of our data only. So, like, especially for you guys who are, you know, drafting our dynasty leagues and eventually drafting in our redraft leagues, like, it's handy data to have, you know, because although other ADPs out there, other rankings out there are still a good reflection of the overall fantasy community, having a true reflection of our fantasy community is definitely going to be, you know, a good resource for you guys. So, yeah, man. All right, into the 8th round we go. All All right, we've got Tyler Algier off the board at 7.9. Isaiah Pacheco gone at 7.11. Who would you guys rather take? I think I like Pacheco by a little bit, personally. I like Algier a lot. I mean, I loved Algier going into last season, but we know that the Falcons last year implemented quite a few different running backs, kind of killed, running backs' values at certain times. And don't get me wrong, I think the Chiefs, you just never know what to expect when it comes to an Andy Reid-led offense. But I love the fact that Pacheco's tied to an Andy Reid-led offense, a Patrick Mahomes-led offense. And I just think Pacheco's going to have a really good season. I don't know how large the upside is being that Patrick Mahomes a quarterback there, but at the end of the day, Pacheco's my guy right now. So probably won't land him in any drafts for that reason, but I just think he's a really good value in the 7th round. And Algier is a good value too, but if I'm choosing between the two, I just think I take the slight upside in Pacheco. Rachaad White goes at 8.2, and I think Rachaad White is another player kind of in that same tier who's just really interesting to me right now. I mean, I cannot wait until the NFL draft is over, because at that point we're going to be able to evaluate the running back position so much better. It's just so many ifs and buts. Zach Charbonnet goes to the wrong team, or Gibbs goes to the wrong team. It's going to eat up fantasy value so quickly. Cats, at what point would you take Mixon? I mean, yeah, at the 8.4 is your RB3 between or behind Bijan and Algier. Like, that's perfectly fine. But we don't really have a true ADP or sense of where to take Mixon off the board right now. Hold on, let me make this draft pick. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. Just give me Evan Ingram. Let's just get tight end out of the way. Oh, my gosh. What have I done tonight? What is this team? I mean, I can't go running back until like the last round, right? Yeah, but in terms of Joe Mixon, we just don't have a true way of evaluating his ADP until the legal situation kind of clears up, until we know, and outside of that, until the situation with the Bengals clears up as well. Like, we don't even know if he's playing for the Bengals next season. We don't know what backfield is going to be, and we don't know what other running backs are in the same backfield as himself. So, for me at the moment, like, you just wait, and if he's there at good value, that's fine. But like, his ADP and kind of drafting him right now doesn't really mean anything, because if Mixon doesn't end up facing a suspension, he could end up facing suspension, but maybe it's not this season. If you take that away from the equation, he's still with the Bengals, and they don't draft Bijan or Gibbs in the first round. Like, I think Mixon's still the guy. All right, just give me Zay Jones. I just don't know if Jones will make it back to 10.9. And I need some upside. I need a piece of the Jags, well, outside of Ingram. So give me 2 pieces, I guess, of the Jags offense. I will never go 0 receiver again. This is awful. Thomas says, be like Chunk. Goes back-to-back tight ends. Almost did that myself. Yeah, Goddard and Waller, a nice little combination there. Cats, even if he's cut from Cincy, I imagine he's signed somewhere. I mean, 100%, yeah, within, a few days probably, but as long as it's not before the draft, because, just like Ezekiel Elliott or Fournette, like, there's still running backs out there who are going to be signed to teams, just waiting for the draft to end, right? But, Mixon will have a role wherever he goes. There's no doubt about it. So, like, I think he's a great value at 8.4, because best case scenario is he's taking a lot of touches with the Bengals, whether that's just the beginning of the season until a rookie comes on, or it's splitting touches with the rookie. Still in a very good offense that he's used to and is productive in, right? The worst case scenarios he signed, well, maybe not the worst case, but the next scenarios he signs with a team and he has a prominent role there. That's still okay. I still think Joe Mixon is a good running back. The worst case scenario is he does go to a team with a running back in front of him. I don't know. That's like goes to the Jaguars and ETNs in front of him, or goes to the Cowboys and Pollards in front of him, something like that. Then you're like, yeah, like the two-headed attack is nice, but his ceiling is going to be capped. So he could also just go to a different team, and then that same team could end up drafting a Zach Charbonnet, or I mean, there's so many good running backs in this rookie class, but I'd still think regardless, Mixon is worth the gamble right now. But there's just so many question marks and things that we're going to have to kind of clear up. So until those things are cleared up, like I said, drafting him only means so much, because we could see his ADP drastically go up or drastically go down or stay about the same. So it's just a lot of questions at the moment. Chase, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Always good to have you in the building. Hello. Hope you're doing great, man. Guys, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Let's try and can we get to double digits in terms of likes for the night? Mixon is too talented. He'll have a significant role summary. 100% agree with you, Chase. 100% agree. All right, where am I going with this next pick? And how many more picks do we have? All right, give me DPJ. Who you guys drafting right now? Elijah Moore or DPJ? Who do you guys like more? This is going to be one of the weirdest teams I've ever drafted. Like, this strategy can work. I've had a team where, like, I loaded up at running back, almost like a hero wide receiver build. Like, loaded up at running back, one receiver in, like, the 4th or 5th, quarterback early, tight end early in the 6th, 7th, or 8th. And outside that, like, you're just loading up at receiver, then taking some handcuff, rookie running backs, whatever it may be, towards the end of your draft to kind of polish out your running back room. But the issue is you have got to hit on the right wide receivers. And if you don't, then you're at a huge disadvantage. So, like, this build is fine, but also scary. So, all right, my last running back off the board. I don't care if Henry's there. Henry's not going to the Eagles. Gainwell is getting the touches next year. Let's do it. All right, Thomas says DPJ for me. Chase says DPJ had some good chemistry with Watson. Cat says give me DPJ over Moore. He's got chemistry already. I agree with all you guys. Like, I think Elijah Moore could be a really good piece. But I agree. Already has a full season with this offense. Already has a chemistry with Deshaun Watson, albeit not for a full season. But I just... DPJ was really good last year in a full PPR format. I mean, the ceiling wasn't massive, but the consistency was there. I mean, you got double digits. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 games last year. 2 games with 8 or more points. So, 10 games, double digits. I'm pretty happy with that. But, interestingly enough, he only had 3 double-digit games with Watson. Then he had 3 single-digit games with Watson in the year. So, I don't know. But, like, wide receiver in the 10th round, I'm good at that value right now for sure. It's like my... the main thing I remember about last year's content was... every waiver wire video is just begging you guys to go pick up DPJ if he was available. Chase, I don't like that wide receiver room, John. I don't either. That's why we practice, though, 100%, man. Just got to keep trying out different strategies, see what happens. And I mean, I think the thing that I like less about this team, to be honest, is that I didn't draft Walker or Breece Hall in the second round, and I went ETN. But yeah, like I said, like this type of strategy can work, but you just you just have to pray you hit on the right wide receivers, you know. So I would need like a top 12 finish, top 15 finish out of Watson, Ayuk, and Lazard. I just don't know if Evans is getting there with my boy Baker, and then I would need like top 20 performances out of Evans, Jones, and DPJ, or top 25 performances, I guess, a little bit more realistic. But yeah, I don't know. And then I would need Eckler, Etienne, and Chubb to stay healthy all year, and Ingram for that matter. I listen, I'm not out here bragging about this team by any means, but you guys know I'm going to try out just about every strategy throughout the offseason. You know, it's worth it for entertainment, right? All right, praise on the board at 12.8. We only got like 2.5 more rounds, guys. Night's flying by. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Man, I thought you were going Tua for sure there, Prey. But honestly, I like the Kyler pick. You know, having a stable quarterback in Herbie, and then kind of getting that upside player for down the stretch in Kyler. I'm good at that, man. Yeah, I don't think I will ever do this strategy again in my life. Unless, I don't know, maybe if I was drafting with a group of people who don't go insane at the receiver position, you know, maybe there's a chance. But all right, into the 13th round we go, ladies and gentlemen. Fantasy Dogs in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you, my guy. Hello, hello. Hope all is well. Pray, I was going to, but remembered you were beside me and didn't have a quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I would have probably taken Kyler if he was there at 12.9, but I'm happy with Tua as well. Either way, I'm still taking a second quarterback right here, so give me Goffy. Even without J-Mo, still good with Goff. And I'm just going to take either the best receiver on the board at that last pick at 14.9 or receiver with the most upside. I don't even know. Either way, I got in this draft for the receiver, and there's not really a lot of options. I mean, I guess it could go tight end, get someone behind Ingram. Could go with another running back, because if I don't have starting running backs on this team is screwed. I mean, I've got 6 receivers. I don't know. I need more help. But I mean, could go with the rookie running back to end the night. But I think realistically, I need to draft a receiver to end this. Taylor, I like Hunter Renfrow with Waller out of there as long as he stays healthy. You know, I like Renfrow at his current value in the 13th round. Don't get me wrong, in full PPR, of course. But yeah, Renfrow was one of those guys last year who I was really big on. I mean, just great value last season, last off season, I should say. Coming off of a top 12 finish, 1,000 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns, and just absolutely. I mean, I know he was banged up and everything, but just absolutely stunk last year. And really, I didn't really personally feel like there's a lot of chemistry between Carr and Renfrow. So I don't know. I just don't want to get burnt again. You know, I do to a degree hold some grudges in fantasy. So I don't know. Renfrow might be on my naughty list, but I will say I do like his current value. I do agree with that for sure. I think Jacoby Myers could do good with Carr, says Thomas. He looked good with Jones. Yeah, I mean, I do like the addition of Myers to that offense. I think Adams, Renfrow, Myers could be a nice little lineup for sure. And I like Jacoby Myers. I do. He's just been with the Patriots. But outside of that, I think he's a good wide receiver. Especially when you have like a Devontae Adams on the field, you know. I mean, Myers has basically been playing as like a wide receiver 1, so having Adams there is going to be huge. Renfro being there will help as well. Obviously, tight end position took a little bit of a hit, but it's not like Waller's really been healthy either. So, okay, I'm taking a receiver here. Could go Kayshawn. Could go MVS. Darius Slayton. Marvin Mims. Cedric Tillman. She Rice. Jonathan Mingo starting to creep up some draft boards. I mean, just give me Kayshawn. I mean, like, a lot of names we just listed off there, but, you know. If I didn't go Kayshawn there, I think I just go with the rookie running back, so I'm okay with that pick. All right. Thank you, guys. That was fun. Another mock draft in the book. Appreciate it, guys. All right, you guys are already asking for team reviews. So let's do it. Pray up first, of course. Gotta get some water in me before the reviews. Okay. Herbie, Kyler, Cousins. You don't need 3 quarterbacks. Pray. But whatever. Kelsey at tight end. You're good. Quarterback and tight end. Pollard, Javonte, Dylan, Cook, Fournette. I actually like that running back room in terms of value. But, I mean, there's some question marks across the board. But in a redraft league, I'm okay with this. Higgins, Keenan Allen, Gabe Davis, Kadarius Toney, Adam Thielen. I mean, this is an interesting wide receiver room. Yeah, you've got, like, I don't know. I feel like your team just feels like players that you should draft but get passed on. You know what I mean? I mean, let's see. You're starting Herbert and Kelsey. Pollard and A.J. Dillon. Higgins and Keenan Allen. Flexing Gabe Davis and Toney. We got to see what happens with Javonte. So he's on the bench. Cook's on the bench. Thielen's on the bench. You got 2 quarterbacks on the bench in Kyler and Cousins. Like I said, I think you could just go with Kyler there and you're fine. Then Fournette on the bench as well. I don't think this team is bad, but it's just missing, like, I don't know. There's just a lot of question marks and some health concerns with some of your starters is all. But it could be a really good team at the same time. You didn't need Kirk Cousins, though. You should have gone with a receiver there at the end is what I would have done for sure. But it's an interesting squad. I don't know, Prey. How do you feel about it, man? All right. Where are you, boss man? At 1.6 tonight. Lamar, you're probably fine there. Pitts and Ertz, good at that. Jones, Kamara, Madison, Pirine. Mean redraft. I think that's fine. Diggs, Waddle, Debo, Lockett, Josh Downs, Rondale Moore, Alec Pierce. Very good wide receiver room. Starting Lamar and Pitts, Jones, and Madison. Say Kamara suspended. I mean, you could go Pirine too. Then you're starting Diggs and Waddle, flexing Debo and Lockett. So, like, your core roster looks really good. Then you got Kamara on the bench, Pirine, Josh Downs, Rondale Moore, Ertz, and Pierce. Yeah, I think it's a good team. Core roster looks great. Jackson, Pitts, Jones. Hopefully Kamara down the stretch, but I think Madison or Pirine's fine. Then Diggs, Waddle, Debo, Lockett is like really nice, man. So I like it. How do you feel about it? Box and the Jack at the 1.11. We got Josh Allen, Schultz, and Everett. Good on both ends there. JT, Pierce, Pacheco, Rashad White, Hunt, and Acne. I mean, I think you got some really good running back value. Pierce, Pacheco, and White. 6th, 7th, and 8th round. I think we're all a good value. JT at the top. You got Amon-Ra, Hopkins, Godwin, Juju, Chark. So I may have gone for another receiver over Kareem Hunt or Acne, but other than that, I like this team. Starting Allen, Schultz, JT, and Pierce. Amon-Ra, Hopkins, Godwin. Then you're flexing Pacheco or Rashad White. So you got Pacheco, Rashad White on the bench, Juju, Hunt, Chark, Acne, and Everett. It's a good team. How do you feel about it, man? Cats, what we do tonight, man? Late round QB build. We got Watson. I think that's fine. But don't be surprised if, I don't know. I might draft 2 quarterbacks even in redraft, a single redraft league. If I go Watson, I might just want someone behind him. The upside's there, but we also saw a lot of disappointment last year as well. But you got Watson, Kmet, and Juwan Johnson, so I think that's okay. Late round quarterback build, like Watson the 12th, is still fine. Kmet and Johnson, you're good at tight end. Bijan, Algier, Mixon, Elliott, Keandre Miller. I mean, for going really light at running back and only drafting Bijan before the 7th, a good running back room. Tari, Cooper, Ridley, Hollywood, JSN, Rashid Shaheed. I love this receiver room. I think JSN's a great value right now at the 6.4. Overall, I really like this receiver room. A ton of upside. And enough depth that I'm not concerned about injuries and that type of thing. You're starting Watson and Kmet, Bijan and Algier. Mixon, Elliott, Keandre Miller on the bench is nice. Starting Hill, Cooper, Ridley, Hollywood Brown, and you could even sprinkle in JSN and Shaheed. It's a really interesting build. I think it's a really good team. You just got really good running back value tonight. You hit well on tight end, and receivers across the board look great. If Watson works out, it's a really, really good team, man. So I like the team tonight, man. Mark goes at the 1.10. We got Hurts and Freiermuth. Say no more. I love that. Cook, Monty, Gibbs, Damian Harris, Mostart. I'm good at the running backs. Adams, Wilson, Addison, Quentin Johnston, KJ Osborne, Palmer, and Hyatt. I mean, at least you have Adams and Wilson, right? Because Addison and Johnston, we're going to, and Hyatt as well, we're going to really see what offenses they land with. Osborne's a good value as well as Palmer, where you got him, but you're relying pretty heavily in a double flex format on Adams and Wilson. So I just make that note. Starting Hurts and Freiermuth, Cook and Monty. Gibbs could sneak his way into the starting lineup as well. Starting Adams and Wilson. And this is kind of where the issue with the team becomes at this point in the offseason is just those 2 flex spots because you got Gibbs, Addison, Johnson, and Hyatt. So you've got 4 rookies. Then Osborne, Palmer, and Mostart as well as Damian Harris. So you're probably going to be flexing like Osborne and Palmer or Osborne and Mostart, which could really pay off, but also holds a lot of risk. So those rookies all come into their own, then you're in a really good position. If they come on slowly, then you might not be in a good position. Gibbs, I have, and Addison, and even Johnson to a degree are worth taking where you took them, but we're just really going to see what the landing spots are for him, So I just make those notes. All right, coast to coast, what'd you do tonight, man? Fields and Wilson, fine with that. Goddard and Waller, I think both those quarterback combinations and the tight end combination are good. Jacobs, Najee, Swift, Foreman. I'm okay with it. I mean, obviously going double tight end, double quarterback, you're going to get a little bit of hit of depth. Kupp, Mike Williams, Sutton, Mechie, Hodgins, Dobbs. I mean, where you drafted each receiver is fine, but ultimately, as a whole, the wide receiver room, just a little, I don't know. Scares me a little bit. I mean, you've got some pretty heavy injury history with Sutton, Mike Williams, Kupp coming off the injury, Mechie coming out of his own situation. Hodgins and Dobbs are good values. They're fine. But I just, if you end up getting some injury bugs, it's a double flex format. You could just be hurting at the position is all. Starting Fields and Goddard, Jacobs and Harris, Kupp and Williams, flexing Swift, flexing Sutton at least to start the year. Then you got Waller, Mechie, Foreman, Hodgins, Wilson, Dobbs. You have a good bench. There's just some question marks around some of these guys going into next season, in terms of longevity for the coming season. But still a team with a lot of upside and a team that could work out well. But like I said, double flex format, the wide receiver depth just kind of scares me is all. All right, let's see here. Fantasy Dog, your team is not good this time. It's not. Oh my god. You're a top drafter for sure. Thanks, man. Yeah, the strat did not work out tonight at all. All right, Taylor's at the 1.3. Mahomes at quarterback. Say no more. Dolchich and Conquero. Good late round tight end build. CMC, Dobbins, Jamal Williams, Mitchell, and Roschon Johnson. A good little running back room. I mean, you're very reliant on CMC here, which is okay. But you're going to have to get production on Dobbins, Jamal, and Mitchell, who are all in committees, right? Devonta, McLaurin, Kirk, Deontay, Bateman, Renfro. I'm fine with this wide receiver room. You did snipe Kirk from me tonight, in case you're wondering. But you're starting Mahomes and Dolchich, C-Mac and Dobbins, Devonta, McLaurin, you're flexing Kirk and Deontay. You got Jamal, Bateman, Mitchell, and Conquo, Renfro, and Roschon Johnson on the bench. It's a good team, man. Solid team, head to toe. I'm good at this squad. How do you feel about it, man? JW, how are you, man? What's going on? We got a late round QB build here. Danny Dimes, Rodgers in the 13th and 14th. I'm okay with that. Mandrews and Knox. I'm okay with that. Brees Hall, Cam Akers, Brian Robinson, and Izzy. I think you can work with that for sure. JJ Olave, Pittman, Burks, Flowers, Moore. I mean, you went after a lot of guys that you like. I thought the Flowers pick was really good in the 9th round. If Flowers was there at 9.4, I would have definitely taken him. I know you like Burks, so I'm fine with that in the 6th round. I mean, you got JJ Olave and Pittman, so you're starting Jones, Mandrews, Hall, Akers, JJ and Olave, flexing Pittman. And then your second flexman, you got Burks, Brian Robinson, Flowers. Like, you got plenty of options. So it's an interesting build per usual, but I think it's a good team. A little light at running back potentially, but I think 4 you can live with in a redraft format. Plus, getting 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends, getting the depth at receiver made more sense. So, how do you feel about it, man? Thomas. Might be the first time not taking a running back till round 3. How's it look at the 1.8? All right, we got Prescott and Geno. Great for a late round QB build. Hawkinson and Hurst. Perfectly fine at tight end. Ramondre, Charbonnet, Herbie, and Singletary. Yeah, I mean, like, these guys are all fine where you took them. But you're just missing that umph. I mean, unless Charbonnet just really comes on very quickly, which he certainly could, but you can live with these running backs. You're just going to be playing the waiver wire and potentially fielding some trades. This is all. Brown, Metcalf, London, Pickens, Beckham, Myers. Good wide receiver room, though. So you're starting Geno because you're a Seahawks fan. You're starting Hawkinson, Ramondre, and probably Herbert to start the year. Things could change, though, depending on if they draft a running back. Plus, keep in mind, like, the value, I mean, even if we look at Monty's value after Fields really came on, things, well, they weren't that bad. Wow, I thought it was way worse than that. No, I guess that's fine then. I mean, like, yeah, those first couple of games, that's really what I was thinking of, I guess. We're not as good, but okay. Okay, Monty was pretty much fine. I take that back. I'm just going to say, like, plus, I mean, even realistically, if we're expecting Fields to run the football, like, there's also the chance that the Bears run him less this coming season. So, but anyways, that theory's out the door. So, back to what I was saying. Starting Geno, Hawkinson, Ramondre, let's say Herbert to start the year, but it could be, I don't know, could be Charbonnet. Brown, Metcalf, London, Pickens for your wide receivers and flex. So, I think the core roster looks pretty good. That leaves Charbonnet, Beckham, Myers, Prescott, Singletary, Hurst on the bench. I think it's a well-built team. Yeah, I like this squad tonight. Running back is your biggest issue in terms of depth, but like I said, if you get the right value and play out of Herbert, Singletary, Charbonnet in that RB2 spot, I mean, you're relying on Stevenson. He's got to be healthy. He's got to be productive. If he's not, then you're going to be panicking on the waiver wire looking for trades and all of that. But if Stevenson stays healthy and gets enough touches, enough volume, which he should, and then you get, Charbonnet to creep in the RB2 spot, or Herbert and Singletary kind of hold you over until that happens. Maybe they don't have a great ceiling, but they just hold you over. Then I could see this team working out. So, hey, man. Interesting build tonight. Astra. What we do, man? Burrow. You're good? Njoku. Fine in the 9th round. Walker, Henry, Connor, Rashad Penny, Tucker, Spears. I think you're fine at running back, man. Chase, Judy, Dotson. Can't guard Mike, Elijah Moore, and Nico Collins. So you're starting Burrow and Njoku, Walker and Henry, Chase and Judy, flexing Connor, flexing Dotson. That leaves you with MT, Penny, Moore, Tucker, Spears, Collins. I mean, I don't love the bench per se. Some upside in like Thomas at his value and Penny where he went, even like Elijah Moore and Tucker and Spears just depends where they go. You know, I think the core roster is fine. It's just not my favorite bench. So, yeah. You said strong start, mid flexes. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think like Connor and Dotson are fine in the flex. The bench is what worries me a little bit more. But like Thomas, Penny, Elijah Moore, I think are worth where he took them. So I don't think it's that bad of a team. Core roster looks good, man. Let's see. Chase says I wouldn't have high hopes for Javonte this year. I mean, yeah, he burnt me last year, so I will agree with that. I drafted Kirk because he's Captain Kirk. Thomas, by the way, I'm starting Gino over Dak. Like I knew it. Nick, can you do another one tonight? I can do an off-air one. We can get it put together after this stream. Crack the elbow. How do you even crack an elbow, Doug? Sorry about Kirk, homie. Are you good, bro? No, you deserved him. You deserved him, Taylor. Draft of the night. I'm going with Catrick Mahomes. I know the running backs, there's a slight issue, you could argue. But like I think in redraft, you could actually get enough value out of Mixon and Zeke where they went. And I love Keandre Miller, and I think Algier's great in the 7th round. And then you get Bijan. So like as long as Watson is top 12, then you have Kmet at tight end, Bijan and Algier, Bijan and Mixon, Bijan and Zeke if it comes down to it. Then Hill, Cooper, Ridley, Hollywood, JSN, and Shaheed at wide receiver. I just think this is one of those drafts where each pick was really good value across the board in a well-built team, especially for a hero running back build. I mean, Hill, Cooper, Ridley, Hollywood, JSN, Shaheed, I just love. I love Cole Kmet. I think Jawan Johnson's a great tight end too. Watson kind of makes or breaks this team, but like I said, if he's top 12, I think this team works out just fine. So that's my team of the night, man. Yeah, I am down for an off-air mock after this for sure. For sure. Unless Bijan goes to Atlanta. That's an interesting point, guys. Yeah. At least you have Atlanta's backfield locked up at that point. All right, let's roast the worst team I've ever drafted. Here's my 0 wide receiver squad for you guys. And like, is it even truly 0? I think this is fair for 0 wide receiver. Sometimes with a 0 build, you're not drafting that position till like the 5th, 6th, 7th round. But like, I think looking at the draft board, end of the 4th is fair for a 0 wide receiver build. But we're starting. We've got Tua and Goff at quarterback. We got Ingram at tight end. So let's say we're starting Goff and Ingram. Tua and Ingram doesn't really matter, right? Running backs Eckler, Etienne, Chubb, Gainwell. We're hoping Henry doesn't go to the Eagles. Wide receivers Watson, Ayuk, Evans, Lazard, Zay Jones, DPJ, and Kayshawn. I mean, you just have to hit like all these wide receivers, like I talked about earlier. Like whoever the top 3 are going to be have to get top 15 production on the year. Everyone else has to get like, maybe outside of Kayshawn being a rookie, everyone else has to get like top 25, top 30. And even then, like, it's going to be somewhat of a struggle, you know? Like, I just don't see realistically 3 of these guys breaking out into the top 12 or I don't know, man. This was not a smart strategy drafting with you guys who draft very heavy at the wide receiver position. But you got to try it out, right? So we're starting Goff or Tua, starting Ingram, Eckler and ETN. We're flexing Chubb. Starting Watson and Ayuk and flexing Evans. That leaves Lazard, Zay Jones, DPJ, Gainwell, Tua or Goff, and Kayshawn on the bench. I mean, like, it's a decent build. There's just not very high ceilings at wide receiver. And the floors aren't great. Like, this team is relying on Watson and Ayuk. And, like, both of them taking a step forward next season. And then, like, relying on Evans staying with the production that Mike Evans gives on a yearly basis. And, like, last year was still pretty worrisome because if you take away that game against Carolina where he had 48 fantasy points, like, and a 207 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, that means he only scores 3 touchdowns on the year. He doesn't finish with 1,000 receiving yards. And, overall, he has 48 less fantasy points. He does not finish as a top 20 receiver. Although he could have had an average game, and I don't know. I don't even know if that would have made him top 20. So, on top of that, we need a lot of consistent production out of Zay Jones and DPJ, and like they bring all the upside to this team. And then, like, we need Lazard to do what I think he can do, but I don't know. This team is really interesting. It's not, the more I kind of break it down, I don't think it's the worst team. It's not as bad. But I don't know. It's pretty bad. You win 3 running backs and late quarterback. Yeah. We got to implement a worst draft for the night. We've all been there. Well, hey, perfect night to implement it. I'll just take it for the night. You guys can crown me worst draft for the night. But honestly, like, playing devil's advocate, like, I do think this team could work out. But I don't know, man. Your wide receivers rolling the dice, yeah, 100%. Watson's okay, but as my wide receiver 1 with Love, kind of queasy. Yeah, these guys would just all have to hit on the year, Doug, I cannot crack my big toe. I'm literally trying. Nothing's happening, bro. Thanks, Thomas. Good drafting, everyone, for sure. No, I've not tried pizza and mayo, Doug. It's a scary playoff team when it gets cold. Bro, I got Eckler, ETN, and Chubb. And Gainwell. Don't even. All right, well, you win some, you lose some, boys. What are you going to do? All right, thank you guys for drafting tonight. Thank you to everyone who came out, man, and talked some fantasy tonight. Whatever you guys want to throw together on Discord when the stream ends, I'll hop into whatever draft you guys get going. And, yeah, man. If you guys want a dynasty draft, want a draft, I'll be there. So, you guys set it up. All right, guys. Thank you for coming out. It's been part of your night here at the channel. Thank you for watching me draft this very mediocre team. That's what I'll leave it at. A little 0 wide receiver action for you guys. And great drafting tonight, guys. Always appreciate you guys coming out, talking fantasy, and just continuing to give us, a good fantasy resource on a weekly basis to go off of. So really do appreciate you guys and everything that you guys continue to do throughout the off season. NFL drafts coming. Things are going to start speeding up in terms of fantasy discussions, in terms of fantasy content for the channel. So just stay put. I'm just super excited for everything that is going to come. So with that, I'll say, guys, thank you for coming out tonight. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. Check out the links down below. Follow us on Instagram. Join the Discord. All that good stuff. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend. Everyone have a safe rest of your weekend. And tomorrow we should be on late afternoon for a Dynasty Startup mock draft. So, you guys, someone take one for the team. Organize our off-air mock draft. And I'll be there with you guys after the stream. Outside of that, love you guys, man. Love this community. Love the Catch fam. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. With that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the catch. And peace.